Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in to the PSP Podcast, featuring your friendly host, Perc 173, where PSP stands for Perc Spreads Positivity, where we educate.
The 3 E's, right? You can educate, you can entertain, or you can be empathetic.
Have you encountered any gender-related obstacles or biases while building your career in content creation?
I would say the cyber stalking.
By bringing in the best of the best.
But hanging out on stream and like experiencing things in the moment with people, it was so fun. And I started it one day, I never stopped.
There's a few streamers as well who are always open to sharing all the cool things that they've discovered on their stream.
Post everywhere, post often, and do it your own way. And have fun. And have fun and be yourself.
Fun. Have fun, honestly. Like that, I love that so much because it's so true. Like, if you like the content you're making, like if you're watching it and you like it, you're not the only person.
From fitness to establish a new habit or a routine, what is your message to them?
Start with less than you think you need.
Too fitting. Would love to get some tips and tricks of the trade on like how you kind of do things in the cosplay field.
Yeah, I'd love to go into that, especially because like I've done a little bit of everything, right? So I've made some costumes, I've bought some costumes, I have my friends' old costumes, I've commissioned costumes, I like craft all kinds of things, but also I wear things. Like there's a whole smorgasbord of I do a little bit of everything when it comes to cosplay.
To VTubing and animation. This is something that I may want to get into. How should they start?
Ooh, I think everyone should start on YouTube. I think YouTube is going to be your best place for launching
metrics that creators should be paying attention to, in my opinion.
Yeah. But I think, and like specifically with like VTubing, I think it's, I think all of that is like kind of like the difficulty level is like bumped up to like expert.
And our goal at the PSP Podcast is to educate and inspire aspiring creators. And we are super excited for this week's episode, and we can't wait to see you there. So let's have a freaking party. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on in. My name is Perc 173, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the PSP Podcast, where Perc spreads positivity. And this is where we vibe out, where we laugh a little, and where we shine our light as on creators that are just doing their thing. And today I am extremely hyped because we have ChillinWithDev in the building. And ChillinWithDev is a goofy, down-to-earth streamer, and she is super welcoming and super awesome. And she's part of the Twitch Women's Guild and the Pride Guild, and she's all about spreading positivity, community building, and keeping it real on stream. And this episode is all about the tech side of streaming, and I could not be more excited to have Dev join us today. So Dev, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for asking, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
I'm really excited to have you here and like kind of dive into the world of streaming. So I don't know how much you know about the PSP Podcast, but this podcast is dedicated to new, aspiring, and growing creators who want to make an impact on the streaming world in any way that they know how. And I'm really excited to bring in people who are established and are killing it and just doing everything that they do every day to share their story and their journey to maybe help inspire or some of the aspiring creators. So
I think that's so awesome.
Thank you. So why don't we tell the streamers who are new here or that might be seeing the podcast on our Spotify a little bit about you?
Hi, so I'm ChillinWithDev, but you can just call me Dev. I'm a full-time variety streamer on Twitch. I'm also a mom and a partner. I've been streaming for about four years and some change now. Being a variety streamer is tough, but it works for me. My chat has graciously diagnosed me with ADHD, and I think it's pretty clear if you ever come into chat that that's probably true. So variety is where my heart is at. It means that we do anything from makeup, talking, crafting, cleaning my room. I know, boring, but people seem to like it, to playing all kinds of different games that people recommend to me. It's where my heart's at, and I really love what I do.
And like your streams are genuinely just so awesome to be around, and like I'm a lurker in the majority of people's streams because I'm also ADHD, but I'm also a drummer, and I'm used to multitasking and doing a million things at once. So whenever I'm in your stream, I try to at least like initially make myself known, and then I just kind of work and like watch the magic, and like you always have this really positive like mindset with kind of every game that you play or like whatever you're doing on stream, and it's really cool to see and be around.
Thank you. That's so kind,
Of
because
course.
there are definitely moments where I'm sitting in the chair thinking, oh my God, they're going to realize that I'm not having fun. Oh my gosh, they're going to realize that I'm tired or something. So that means a lot. Thank you.
That's kind of like the whole side of streaming though, is like a lot of people don't really realize that like we might be tired or we might have to put on a mask for the day. And I think it's just a really cool thing to see. But like the stuff that you put out, like the energy that you put out, it's just amazing vibes, and it's just really cool. And it's one of the big reasons why I wanted to bring you on and talk a little bit about tech and talk a little bit about streaming. It's for some of the newer creators. So
awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah.
And what made you hit the go live button for the first time? What was your decision that put you into streaming?
Yeah. So it was 2021, but everyone was still feeling the effects of the pandemic and everything, right? So I was currently in real estate, not enjoying it. And the pandemic really kind of threw me a curveball, made me realize I don't like sales. I'm not cut out for this, because if you're going to join something like sales and then get hit with a pandemic, you're going to learn real quick if you've got the skin to handle it or not. I did not, and that's okay. My boyfriend bought himself Animal Crossing New Horizons. Didn't like
Animal
it.
Crossing.
Told me to play. It became my entire identity for half of 2020 and the beginning half of 2021. And then I got into YouTube trying to find different people's videos on what they were doing on their islands. And a few of them were like, yeah, and if you want to catch me live, I'm on Twitch. And I was like, oh, what's this? And it all just kind of went from there. I looked at the website. I saw people streaming all kinds of games, music, just talking, makeup, other interesting forms of content. But I thought I think I could do this. Like, this looks fun. I'm creative. I like meeting new people. I also was feeling really isolated at the time. I think everyone was after the pandemic. Friendships didn't survive. The whole world kind of changed the way that it works. So yeah, I was inspired and I wanted to try something new. My work life wasn't fulfilling me, and I never thought it would become what it is today, but I'm very happy that I went live.
And I can speak for everyone. We're also very glad that you went live as well, because like a lot of times when people visit other streamers, they love seeing people just having fun and being themselves, and like it's a really cool thing to kind of witness and see, because like from a viewership perspective, we love getting to watch people having fun so we can spread some positivity in our lives as well. For me, I actually went live because I don't think I've actually ever told why I went live on the podcast, so I think I'm going to.
Oh, please share.
So originally I went live, I was a viewer for the longest time. Through the pandemic, before the pandemic, I used to watch streamers and content creators and different styles of content. And I just enjoyed like how the content in general just made me feel, because the world of content is just such a vast thing, and it could be literally anything that you put forward, because in my mind, content is something that is consumed. So I decided to hit the go live button because I'm sitting here sharing my Call of Duty gameplay before Warzone even hit, and like people were like, dude, you're so hilarious, like your clapbacks are so funny in COD, like why don't you just go live, why don't you clip it and like just post it on the internet? And I'm like, maybe. And then eventually my friend Terrell, we were in the Discord, he went live on his own Twitch, and he said, instead, I'm going to highlight you because you're so hilarious, and put my face on his Twitch. And then ever since then, like we did that like 2 or 3 times. I decided to make Percussive 173, and my goal is just have fun, be myself, spread positivity. And I've never imagined thinking I'd be talking to super established like Twitch and Kick creators in the manner of which I am. And the transition from COD into podcasting is a whole different thing. I never thought I would be here. So
yeah, that's a big dynamic change, but I love how you started out and how you were encouraged. I think being encouraged by friends, even if they're just online friends or personal friends, is huge and really helps build a sense of confidence and validity because it is scary.
Yes.
You're live and you don't know who's going to show up. You don't know if you're going to say the wrong thing or how to act sometimes, but having that, even that small amount of support is huge.
And see, even when I met you for the first time, I said the wrong thing. So when I first, so I met you for like one of the first times, and I saw one of your tweets, right? You were having an issue inside of your Discord. So I decided to enter your chat, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to offer help. And I didn't realize at that point in time that I was breaking one of the unknown cardinal rules of streaming and content, which was like offering unsolicited advice to other streamers. I learned from my mistake, but I mean, like, firstly,
hopefully I wasn't too harsh.
No, you were great, and you were exactly as I expected you should be, because I just want to apologize for that. But I think this is a really awesome segue to talk about like how to handle yourself in the world of streaming after you hit the go live button. So what do you think are some unknown streaming rules when you're in somebody else's stream?
As a viewer?
Yeah.
And especially as a viewer, as a streamer, I tell my chat and I tell my friends that I know I'm a bad backseater, which is ironic because I have a pretty strict no backseating rule in my own chat. We have safe words, we have specific cues and questions that I'll ask. But for the most part, nobody wants a game to be spoiled. True. And I don't mind help, but it's when there's certain ways to ask questions. So I know I can be a bit of a backseater in other people's chats, but I've gotten better at like holding my tongue, catching the vibe of, is anyone else backseating? Like, what's going on here? But otherwise, as a viewer and a streamer watching another streamer, it can be really hard to find that good dynamic, especially if you don't have a closely established relationship with that streamer, if you're just hopping in for the first time. Now, me speaking from my own experience, I've had good luck hopping into either a friend's stream or another person's stream that I don't even know that well. And if they're having a tech issue, I'll say, hey, I have a suggestion. Are you taking help? So asking before just giving is a great way to test the water, dip your toe in, see what's okay. And it also shows that you're willing to respect any boundary depending on what their response is.
SW advice.
I typically get good feedback when I start offering tech advice after asking. But sometimes if they respond and say, you know what, no, I have my resident techie mod, or no, I think I've got it under control, respect it, back away. And if you think it's going to be hard for you to hold your tongue, go hang out in someone else's stream for a little bit and just keep their tab open. But it's always better to ask in any scenario, whether it's tech related, gaming advice, whatever. It's always better to ask before just like blurting out your opinion, because some streamers might not have, they might be a little they might not have confidence in that particular field, and it might make them really uncomfortable to try and handle a situation like that live.
Absolutely. And it brings up a huge point, like just a life advice too, where like consent is one of the most important things.
Yes.
And like being able to respect that consent that can always be like revoked at any point in time is such an important thing to talk about. And like that, it's when you're going into other streamers chats, it's always the most important thing is to respect the rules that they have in their chat and respect the moderators. Yes. And just be that viewer. Like some people like myself, I love it when you talk about your streams in my stream. Like I want to hear what you did, I want to hear what you're doing. And like some other creators are not like that. They're completely different. So it's like it's a reading the room mentality and understanding that. So I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think it also can go sometimes a little beyond reading the room. I'm definitely, my room is sometimes a little hard to read, if I'm being honest, I know as the streamer for viewers. I'm open to helping streamers with their streaming issues, specifically when they're tech related, but being fully transparent, I'm human. It does get under my skin just a little bit if a streamer comes in or a viewer comes in who I don't know they stream, and they start talking about their stream. And it's like, okay, I've learned that I don't need to make it about me. I don't need to make it a personal issue. They feel comfortable enough to share it with me whether I know them very well or not, give them the benefit of the doubt until they show otherwise. And that's hard because as a human and as learning in this space that no self-promo everywhere, but there are people who do it like you. It's a hard dance, but my best advice to any streamers who have found a space that they're comfortable in and they really admire that streamer, DM them first or like whisper them on Twitch if their DMs are open. And if they're not, you might just not have a space where it's okay to talk about your own stream, and it's okay to accept that and to not take it personally that they don't support you or appreciate you. And a great way to show someone you admire that you stream without making it icky is by rating them. Because
Yes.
not only are you supporting them, but you're showing them that you stream, and they will probably, especially if you've been around for a while and had no idea, they'll be really freaking excited that you rated them. And now they get to hopefully follow you and hang out in your stream the next time you go live. And now you've kind of broken that wall of awkwardness between I'm a streamer, you're a streamer, you know.
I agree with that 100%, and I have a story behind that actually. So,
awesome.
So when I first started streaming, I actually rated into the person who was really inspired me to stream, and like I decided, you know what, I'm not going to raid into anybody until after I get affiliate because I like to make things harder on myself. Don't ask why. But
don't we all?
Right. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to raid into X Marie Angel. Marie is somebody who was the first person content creator wise that I started following on Twitch. And she is somebody who was really awesome. I actually did the same thing with Shady, but we're going to keep it on Marie for a bit. So I raided into Marie, and Marie was like, wait, Percussive, like you're in my chat like every other day. I didn't know you streamed. Wait, I have to go check you out. And like, genuinely, like getting rated by someone or rating into someone is one of the biggest streamer to streamer compliments that you can get, because not only are they that streamer is entrusting you with their entire community to keep the vibes up, to keep the mentality going, but you're choosing them out of the millions of other content creators that are on the platform where discoverability is basically zero.
Yeah, it's a great way to flatter the person that you admire and to show that respect. And it goes even further when you've never mentioned that you stream. At least for me, because now I know that you respect me on a level that isn't selfish, or you have no ill intentions to use me in any sort of way, because unfortunately that happens. It's just how this market works sometimes. And I don't think people always mean it, but it's very easy to come off that way. So I think rating in is a great way to break the ice on that awkward barrier, form a new connection. And like you said, how Marie mentioned that you're in her chat every other day, that's how I initially, I don't want to say grew on Twitch, but that was a lot of my start, is that I found someone who I really connected with on a personal level. Just our personalities just vibed up really well. And they're one of my best friends. I went to their wedding in Mexico this summer.
W.
So yeah, it goes a long way when you genuinely connect with someone for no other reason than you like them. And if you, at the end of the day, get to share with them that you're also a streamer, and maybe gain is not the best word to use, but you gain that connection, and maybe even get opportunities from that in the future for perfectly positive intentions, there's nothing negative in there, then that's, I think, a big win at the end of the day, and the best way to go about it.
I couldn't agree more. And like, there's a big difference between like the clout chasing aspect that a lot of us are like kind of concerned about, in being genuine with the stuff that you do. And like, when you raid in this, I've had people raid into me and they're like, hey, well, why don't you ever raid me back? I'm like, well, that's not gonna work. Maybe like raid for raid is not a solution. Follow for follow is not a solution. It's a whole thing.
It's a big red flag for me.
Same. Same.
How do I word this? I don't want to call it generosity, but like acts of kindness, yes, how do I say this? Life is a balancing scale, and when you give kindness into the world, you can hope to receive kindness back, but you can never expect it. Now, rating into someone in the sense of content creation, yes, that's an act of kindness, but it's also a risk, and it's a very generous act of kindness.
Yes.
That streamer, although they love you as their viewer and they enjoy having you in their chat as their viewer, if they go check out your stream and it doesn't quite align with the vibe or the quality or just the home that they've created in their space, they might not raid you. And that's not personal. That's a business and a brand choice at the end of the day. And it's really hard to understand that. So I don't blame anyone for ever being disappointed that the person they raid constantly never raids them back. If anything, it's a great chance to kind of take an introspective look at your own content, see what you can do to maybe amplify, align better, ask them for advice without making it about the fact that they haven't rated you.
You say introspective. In every single episode, I tell new creators and aspiring creators the same thing. 95% of what content creation and being a live streamer is introspective work. It's looking back at your own streams. It's looking back at yourself. What can you do to make your stuff better? Which is a huge segue and a really awesome segue to go into talk a little bit about the technology behind what makes things function. Because what the viewers may or may not know is we are our own audio engineers, we are our own visual engineers, we are our own mechanical engineers. We put every
event
little
planner,
piece,
graphic
event
designer,
planner, marketing personnel. Like we wear many hats, kind of like the hats that I have back there. But we wear many different hats as a content creator. There's a lot behind making a podcast or a live stream or anything, just even be able to be functional and tolerable in a good way. So we want to make sure that we give the best foot forward. So as a new streamer, what tech do you think we should know about, and what tech do you recommend off rip?
Okay, so kind of like you mentioned earlier about rating Marie, that you didn't want to rate anyone until you were affiliated because you just enjoy making things harder for yourself. I on the other side of that coin, I don't like doing anything new without feeling like I've learned everything I can at that time to look sufficient enough, to look like I know enough. It's something I struggle with in many ways, but in a lot of ways, it's actually pretty beneficial. It can help with getting a new job. It can help with going live for the first time. So when I first discovered Twitch, it was probably April. I didn't go live until July 1st. So in that time, I was going through numerous phases of planning. And the first phase was, am I actually going to do this? Once I figured out that the answer to that question was yes, I went into full educational mode. I learned everything I could from YouTube. YouTube is an amazing resource. You can basically just say, how do I get an overlay on my stream? You're going to find 50 videos of very different people of all different standards, calibers, and qualities teaching you how to do this. Watch 5 of every single question that you have so that you learn as much as you can. And then you're going to have a layer of confidence added to the first time you stream, feeling like you actually know what you're doing. You're going to know your broadcast software. You're going to know your sound setup. When it comes to purchasing tech, you don't need to spend the biggest amount of money. Like, you don't need to buy the biggest thing. You don't need to buy the most expensive thing just to start. I started with a setup that was, I had a nice camera, but I had purchased it years prior. But I could easily start with a setup that's less than $200, excluding the computer. And that you're good to go. So YouTube is a huge resource. Learn as much as you can before you go live. Have a generalized idea of what you want your overlays to look like, what you want your bot to say when people come in. Have basic alerts set up. And if none of that, if you don't know what any of that is right now, that means you haven't consumed enough of the content you're trying to get into. in order to meet the level of where everyone's at on the platform or the level that you want to be at, you need to consume those people's content. You need to learn how they greet people, what their alerts look like, how their bot functions, how they address chat, what the start of their stream looks like. Catch a VOD, go to the end of their stream. How did they end their stream? What did they do when they get rated? Really, it's not creepy. It's not weird. No one's going to know that you fully digested someone's stream to learn how to be a better streamer. If anything, if they do find out, they're going to be really flattered that you chose them as an example to move on by.
Absolutely 100% agree. And like, for example, like you mentioned, like the technology that needs to happen. When I first started streaming, I started streaming on only a laptop with a 2060 Ti, and it was with Call of Duty. Also, I do want to say real quick, chat, I see you. I love you. Thank you so much for all the follows and all the love and support.
Hi chat. I see you.
But
thanks for coming through.
I also may or may not respond to y'all, but I just wanted to say hello. But so I started streaming on a 2060, and I thought that was going to be enough. And
I was streaming on a 1070.
A 1070? Ooh, W. So my first headset was a Turtle Beach headset that plugged directly into the thing, and then I used a Bluetooth controller to play Call of Duty with one other monitor that was just like a 60 hertz monitor, and that was my setup for 2 years. And that was what I learned to be an affiliate on and how I started playing Call of Duty. So you don't need to have the highest end tech. Now I decided to invest in my technology, and I now have 2 computers. Actually, technically I have a 3-stream setup. If you ever come by my stream, or 3 PC setup. I have a computer that runs my peripherals solely, so it takes the pressure and ohmage off of it. That's my old 2060. I still use it. If it works, I'm going to use it. I have a 5070 Ti that I use to run my Call of Duty, and then I have a 4060 Ti that I use to actually stream. So I'm taking pressure off because it is so difficult. And we talk about bots and stuff and like chat bots. Like I was watching Steffi Evans stream for a while, actually, and also the Only Shady stream, and they all had these different like commands, and I didn't even know what to do. So I didn't even know what Nightbot was at the time. And eventually I saw someone do !PP, which you can do in my chat, and it was a random number generator that tells you the size of your PP.
Yep.
And
I've got one.
Yeah. And Botrix is broken.
I've got a command in my chat just to clarify.
Also, that's the funniest thing ever. If someone does !PP and then the random number generator with Botrix is like random 0 to 15.
Yep.
So tech doesn't always work, but literally learning how to do that. I watched a video on how to do that, and then I decided to turn it into !FMK. And these are just things that you're playing around with in Nightbot and watching people. So it was actually Cat Liente that I saw a video on.
I love Cat.
And that we used to be able to like make different style of chatbot commands in Nightbot commands that, and then I saw going down the line recently, Queen with Manda used TangiaBot, right? And I decided to implement Tangia on my stream because now someone can do a cheese slap. You can't on this scene because I took all that stuff off, but and now you can literally like throw tortillas at someone's face, or you can throw it's just funny, goofy stuff that you can do to interact with chat.
There's so much out there.
There's so much out there. And it brings up the question, what is something that you do to help interact with chat? What tools do you bring into the table?
So I rely pretty heavily on my bot. If people subscribe to my channel, they have access to different sounds. And I first learned this from someone who no longer streams, unfortunately, but they were a very inspiring streamer at the time. And they allowed their subscribers to have access to sound commands. And they even made it so that when you subscribe at a certain tier, you get to request your own sound command. I have that implemented in a way with marathon streams for the rest of the year, or for the following year, they get to have a sound command if they reached a certain level of contributing to the marathon stream. But my bot is pretty heavy on allowing chat to interact with the stream. I have a channel point redemption where they can do a dramatic zoom on my face, and can I cuss?
Yo, absolutely. Go for it.
The little fuckers like to zoom in on me when I'm writing on the board. And of course, my backside is facing the camera. So they like to interact with the bot a lot. And I would say my bot of choice is Firebot. It's up there with
Really?
Mix It Up Bot and StreamerBot. It's free to use. I really like the UI.
Writing this down.
It's a really good option. I tried using Mix It Up Bot a few times, and I see the appeal and I understand why people love it, but the UI just didn't work for my brain. And Firebot's definitely my go-to. Something that I just want to add on that kind of ties into what to do when you're ready to start streaming is don't be afraid to click every single spot of your Twitch page, click every single spot of your creator dashboard, learn everything. You are not going to mess something up. Chances are, if it's something you're not going to want to click, it's in red text or you'll get a pop-up saying, "Are you sure?" Don't be afraid to click everything, read everything, learn what you have. There's an entire menu of extensions that allow you to find different bots and tools. You can have your Instagram feed get posted in your about page on your Twitch. You can have a widget that shows when your next stream is going to come up aside from the Twitch schedule. So there's a lot of tools in the extension panel if you haven't checked it out before.
And that's something that I'm still learning. And we talk about being around the industry for as long as we have. It's a never-ending learning cycle, and don't think you're ever going to just pop in and know everything at once, because you're never going to. And you also have to keep in that mentality is not only within Twitch. I'm multi-stream. I'm streaming on multiple different platforms. So now not only do I have to know Twitch, I got to understand Kick, and I got to understand YouTube's dashboard. I got to understand the things that are going to create a similar experience on Twitch as they are on Kick. Now with Mix It Up Bot, which I love, I'm a big fan of Mix It Up Bot. And it's not going to work on this scene, but if you type lizard in chat when my Mix It Up is on, it's going to have a little sound blurb of lizard, and you're going to see the lizard press the button. Same thing with ooh woo, because my tagline, and I've never changed ever since I started streaming, is click here for an ooh woo. So then people say I want my ooh woo, and then the ooh woo pops up on the screen. Awesome. So it's not going to work on this scene, guys. I'm very sorry. I know I'm teasing you, but it's one of those things that we can do to make things more interactive and to have that type of communication and to do like the just chatting streams and make things just more interesting, you know? When it comes to different tech, the biggest thing that I recommend for everyone to look into is what streaming broadcast software you want to use. There's slobs, there's OBS, there's Meld, there's a million different things, but everything will get the job done in a manner of which you want it. You just got to learn how to make it happen.
Yes, absolutely. And there's a lot of resources out there on YouTube where you can learn.
Yes.
And you'll be surprised at what level you can take it to. There's a few streamers as well who are always open to sharing all the cool things that they've discovered on their stream.
Flex.
And there are some streamers, Flex, Nutty. There are some streamers out there. Diggity Dank is another one, Dr. Diggity Dank. Their streams are just his stream is amazing. I don't get to hang out in his stream that much, but from what I've seen, he does things that I didn't even know were possible. And everyone has their own level of ability. I cannot do what he does, but I can do what Nutty does when I have the time and mental energy. And so finding streamers who have a similar level of education as you, and as far as tech, like what you're capable of learning, what you're comfortable with learning, and gaining inspiration from them, seeing if they put tutorials out on YouTube, you'd be surprised how many of them do. There's just so much that you can learn with your own broadcast software, whichever one you're using. Some offer more than others, but there's just so much. It's really a beautiful space where you can express your creativity in many different ways.
There's a bunch of different things that you can do within your audio in visual stuff, especially within OBS. I use Wavelength, and I learned a lot about SFX, so I can
turn myself into a demon
or turn
myself into a kid. I hope those are the right ones.
If I wanted
backwards, but the effect was still there.
Yeah, the effect is still there. But I could turn myself into these certain things depending on like the time of year. I actually have one that turns me into Santa Claus, and
That's so fun.
But I have a Santa Claus costume, so it's just the whole thing. It's just stuff that you can do that's like fun. Like I made a YouTube video last year where Santa Claus snipes in Search and Destroy.
That's so creative. That's so fun.
It was a lot of fun to make stuff like that. And like, so do you have any plugins for OBS or any SFX that you would want to talk about that is going to change the game?
So for me, I'm a chill streamer when it comes to what happens on stream. I get overstimulated pretty easily. I'm also a little bit of a control freak. So
hey, that's a good thing though.
I don't have too many things that chat can do to stream, but as far as plugins in OBS, mine are more aesthetically based or like fun event related. So I have 5 plugins that I use on a regular basis. The first one is going to be source clone or source copy. This is only if you use nested scenes. So if you have multiple cameras, if you like to use your cameras in different places or different ways, if you have tons of different scenes for different types of things, you can copy your sources without affecting the original source. So that's a really big one. I also use OBS blur. So I think it's called composite blur. That is an amazing one as well. On my stream overlay, I have my game slightly shrunk down and off to one side with my camera off to the other side so that it doesn't overlap a lot of the game. It overlaps maybe like 2% of the game, which is great in my opinion. And then behind that, instead of having something black or super bright and colorful, it's just a blurred out version of the gameplay. So it's really immersive and kind of creates this like tunnel vision effect so that the game is easier to focus on for the viewer. So composite blur is amazing. Shader filter has a huge list of things you can use. You can have like a pulsing effect. You can have a rainbow effect. You can create a spotlight. You can create fire so it looks like you're in hell. Like there's so many things you can do with shader filter. And I think that's 1, 2, 3. There's a few others that I use, but those are the 3 that I definitely use for every single stream.
I also love using things like source clone now. However, I found a web version. We're using it currently. I use video for that. I will create a solo session for myself that no one has an invite link to, and you can just copy different browser sources and then just name them something different. So you can take things and you can change things.
That's so smart.
Yeah, so like I can literally have the
How
command.
Is that on your RAM and CPU usage, having those browser sources?
So I mentioned before I have a 3 PC setup. So I actually run VDO on my 3rd PC.
The peripheral one?
Yeah, the peripheral one.
Okay.
Today is a little different. I'm actually running a control room on my main PC so I can actually see you in front of me. But typically I'll run VDO on my 3rd PC that sits right to the left here. Right here. But it's something that I can use to change specific scenes or do specific changes, and like it's really cool and it's really fun. And like there's so many different styles of technology that you can implement into things. And one of the ones that I love to use is distro AV and or NDI. In order for me to even hear you, Dev, because I have my because of the way Call of Duty is, I have to have my headset in my gaming PC. But Discord, I'm in the call on my streaming PC with my mic that is direct feed into my streaming PC OBS. So, but when we get into a multi-stream setup, this is going to get really confusing, and I don't want to confuse all the new streamers. But I actually send...
Yeah, this is advanced stuff, so...
This is super advanced. So
Don't run away, it's fine.
I will take the Discord voice chat auxiliary, send it via NDI from streaming PC to my gaming PC, just so that I'm able to have that feedback in OBS using output and monitor so that you can see me, so that you can hear me.
Yeah.
And this is an advanced thing. Like looking into a dual PC setup is definitely there's a million
It's a
different
whole new
YouTube
world.
videos.
I haven't taken that venture yet. I'm considering it.
I'm a tech
But
nerd,
yeah,
and
it's
I will offer to help because I love helping people with tech.
yeah. Yeah, I've had a few friends that have graduated to the dual PC setup, and I've seen their struggle, but I've also seen the benefits of having a 2 PC setup. With any advancement, there's going to be setbacks.
Absolutely.
That's just the wave of learning, unfortunately. But yeah, they're nice for a reason.
And like, it's when you look at the different styles of technology, but the point, like, I guess the point that I'm making is NDI is such a useful tool in the world of streaming.
Yes.
Because you can send audio, broadcast that audio, that source over your own internal network, which I actually have everything because I do cybersecurity on the side. I have everything in a honeypot on a server so that no one's actually in. I actually have everything backed by a firewall, but this is, you know what I'm going to say to that is I feel that every single person, if you're deciding to go into streaming, should have a cybersecurity 101 course, because
Yes.
the world is a
Yes.
very dangerous place. You got to be
Oh, yeah.
able to learn multi-factor authentication. You got to learn how to protect your stuff, and be able to identify what a phishing email is, because we get phishing emails a lot.
Yeah, I try to post any big red flag emails that I feel like could be just going out to anybody and everybody on Twitter, being like, streamers, don't do this. Watch
Yeah.
out for this. And even if it ends up being legit, I'm not afraid to post about it on Twitter because one, they're probably not going to see it. And two, if they do, maybe they'll learn that they need to up the professionalism a little bit so it doesn't look like a red flag.
Absolutely.
I actually have a streamer friend who's been streaming for years, and they got their computer taken over from them while they were live. And it's because people will, like, we all use Discord.
Yes.
I would say 99.9% of streamers use Discord for themselves, for their own community, or to be in other people's communities. Discord, actually, by the way, a little notice alert. I got an email 2 days ago from Discord saying that some information did get leaked. It was from any kind of customer service interaction that I had with them. They gave me the ticket number so I could see what information was affected, but they said hopefully that no personal contact information got leaked out. So guys, check your emails, see if there's anything from Discord. But a lot of the time, these attacks happen through either your email, which you often put on your Twitter or your handles in your bio, or through Discord. And unfortunately, as much as we all love Discord, it has weak points. And this particular friend of mine clicked on a well-known community member's DM, and they sent them a link. And they figured, oh, this is my friend. It's fine. I'm just going to click on the link. And within minutes, their computer was taken over. The person knew where they lived. They had their banking information, and it was terrifying. And thankfully, it happened while they were live, and the person ended up giving them everything back at no cost. But it's terrifying. It's so scary.
One of the tips that I have for a lot of people when it comes to cybersecurity style stuff: use a password manager, but never log into your password manager. Here's why. One of my friends who's
I don't use one of those. I should,
okay.
though.
So it's okay, you don't have to. But so I have a password manager that's locked behind another password manager that has all of my passwords in. So you have to. Right. It's an internalized 2-step authentication. Not a whole lot of people are going to be able to figure out. And one of my friends actually was logged into LastPass before LastPass had their data breach back in 2023. And they ended up losing a bunch of information. They ended up losing all the money in their bank account because everything was inside of LastPass. So I use a different password manager. I'm not going to say the name of it, but I never logged into the password manager, even though I have the extension on my browsers. So what that's going to do is it's going to prevent somebody from being able to take my password information or the stuff that I have on my computer if they even have access to the computer. So this is kind of where I talk about cybersecurity 101. Like, if you ever get an email, you want to make sure that you never click on a link, you always hover over it because there's this thing called JavaScript that will run when the initialization of any web page happens. And that JavaScript could have a code in there that says, hey, we're going to go ahead and take the cached credentials of this particular person, and then they're going to try to scan for every single password. We're going to record the step-by-step log of everything that we do and then send it back via a text file to the source or home computer. There's a lot that can be done. It is. But my goal is not to scare people. It's just to kind of keep the eyes open.
It's to inform, and it's good to understand just what kind of risks can come from being on the internet. I know when I first started streaming and I had my tip link in chat where people could say !tip and it shows my PayPal, it was my first and last name. And it was like that for so many months that I just said, screw it. It is what it is. I've since changed it, I think. But since I was in real estate, it would be really easy for someone to put my first and last name in Google and get my phone number and get my address. And it was scary and frustrating, but it was a mistake that was already made. Thankfully, nothing has come from it. And it's just really important to check everything, because although there are plenty of resources, like we mentioned on YouTube, to learn how to do these things, sometimes they're outdated. So a touch on that is look for videos within the last 2 years, if not within the last year, if possible. A lot of instructions for how to set up your PayPal for a tip link are very confusing, and it's easy to mess it up because once you mess it up, you can't change stuff. So check all of your options before you select one and see which one's going to be the safest. Use Reddit for people's opinions a lot of the time. Take it with a grain of salt, of course. But there's so many scary ways for things to go wrong, but there are so many amazing tools that you can use to help protect yourself. And it's another reason why you should not allow links in your chat, because anybody can come into your stream at any time. They don't have to know you. They don't even have to be a real person. Someone can just pay to have a bot of 100 different usernames post a link in 1,000 streams a day, and that link will give them access to everything. And so it's really important to not let people post random links in chat as well, because not just to protect yourself, but to protect your community and the people who are in your stream.
So there are a couple tools that I use chat-wise that help with that. One of them being SiriBot. SiriBot has been one of my favorite things that Twitch has added, and I really hope they're able to integrate with the API on Kick soon. But SiriBot is really awesome for that. Another tool, no, Siri, I'm not talking to you. My phone lit up.
Go away.
But the other one is like Frosty tools. Not from a security perspective, but I love the ability for Frosty tools to interact with chat. So if someone raids me, it automatically shouts them out.
Streams.
Dude, Frosty tools is epic. And plus they have this thing called VOD Hunter, which will literally automatically clip the stuff for you, and then it will tell you, it'll literally send you to the exact point in the VOD of where this happened. And if you have a recording that starts at the same time as stream like I do, that has the whole thing, it's just now I have super high quality recordings that I just clipped without, with nothing.
Yes.
So it's super awesome.
Frosty Tools is really cool. I didn't know they had that clipping feature. I know of a few companies who have come up with this automatic clipping feature, but having it also be a bot in your chat that does more than just monitor the clips is really cool. And the Frosty Tools responses are so well crafted, and it's one of the really fun ways that you can integrate or AI into stream. I know AI is a touchy subject for a lot of people, but there are so many fun things that can be done with it that are completely innocent and only amplify not necessarily your content, but what it means to be in your community. And it just they're really fun. Every time I raid someone who has Frosty Tools, I'm blown away and absolutely amazed, and I think it's a great tool.
AI tools are really useful if they're utilized in the right way. And with the evolving aspect of AI in the use case of the world, you have to find ways to take AI and use it to your advantage. So one of the questions in chat that I'm actually really curious, or that I would love to talk about, they said, my niece is starting to stream soon. Any tools or tips she should start with at the very beginning, and you'd love to pass any info on. So my biggest tip for anybody to start streaming, and this is actually one of the questions I had on my docket, but I was going to talk about it later, but since it's here now, my biggest tip to anybody who's wanting to start streaming is just be yourself, be authentically you, and just have fun.
Yes.
And that's something that a lot of people forget about. But
oh yeah,
be authentically
and
you.
When you first start, there's so many ways you can go about doing this. So I have a few nuggets of information that I'm going to try to dish out.
Sure.
Yes, be authentically you, be yourself, have fun. Always stay true to who you are. Don't try to be something that you're not, or something that you think you need to be, because that's going to wear you down mentally, physically. People are going to see it. It's going to be hard to uphold in the different areas of your online life. So definitely don't stray away from your core true self. On top of that, though, it's okay to find inspiration through other streamers that you enjoy watching. So definitely look at what they do, how they do it, what do you like from them, and rather than comparing yourself to them, think about, okay, from what I know of their lifestyle, does it match me? Are they also a college student? Are they also young, living at home, or getting ready to go off to college for the first time? Great. That means that their work ethic might be able to align with mine. For me, I'm a mom. There's not a lot of moms. There are a lot of mom streamers, but it's hard to find ones that are as busy as I might be. And so everyone's going to have their different journey. Don't get discouraged if someone's journey looks different than yours. Don't measure your success with someone else's ruler. You have your own ruler. It's going to go your way. It's hard to accept sometimes, but that's just the way it is. And lastly, like we mentioned earlier, so you might want to show your niece this whole podcast, utilizing YouTube. Any question you have and going to YouTube or Reddit to learn the techie side of things, because there is a lot to learn, is an amazing resource.
There's one other thing that I want to add before anybody wanting to start streaming. So everyone will tell you, oh, go hit the live button. My response is hold the phone. Let's think about it. So if
have a bit of a plan.
Well, my thing is post content first. And the reason why I say that is the Twitch, Kick, YouTube, like wherever it is, well, YouTube has amazing discoverability, but these live streaming platforms don't have great discoverability. And it's always been that way. It's why people who just start streaming, it's so difficult for them to be able to be put on somebody's FYP. Like, for example, when I log into Twitch and they show me like the recommended page, they show me people who I watch first or who I've watched before. Like it'll be like,
or people you follow. Like, we think you might like this stream. Really? Is it because I follow them? Well, I'd like to see someone new.
It's like, why is Steffi Evans always first on my list? It's because, well, I'm in her stream almost every time.
Because you've clocked 100 hours in her stream.
Like over 100 hours in her stream. And it's like, it's stuff like that. It's like there's very limited discoverability when it comes to being put on someone's platform. YouTube is a very different thing about that. But my recommendation is to go live but off live. And record content that you think is going to be funny, that's going to showcase your personality, and that's going to showcase what you want to be known as a content creator or a streamer. Because it's the other platforms, the other content that you put forward, that's going to allow people to see who you are. Like, Dev had no idea who I was. No. I reached out on a whim, and it ended up being like that, where we were able to even have this type of conversation. Like, no one knows who Perc is yet, but I want people to know who I am through the content that I put forward, and then people are going to start seeing, hey, this fat 30-year-old's pretty cool. And I'm going to make that my mantra, my personality, and I'm going to like let people kind of hang out and do what they do, you know? It's post content first. Definitely.
Yes. And if you still want to go live and because I didn't post content first. I went the
Mhm.
I'm going to go live. Instead, I went the networking route where I made connections and friends first. There's so many different ways to start streaming.
Yes.
No one is better than the other, except for don't go into a bunch of people's chats and say, I'm about to start streaming. Don't do that.
Don't
You
do
will
that.
you will burn your bridge before you've even found the river. Don't do that. I think if you do just decide to go live and you're trying to make the best of time, okay? What I would say is only stream maybe 8 hours a week. If that's 4 days with 2 hours or 2 days with 4 hours, then use the other extra hours you have in your week outside of school, work, life, all of that, and edit the content that you made. And if you find that you have nothing worth editing, okay, maybe stop going live for a week or two. Digest and intake as many different streamers and content creators that you can and learn how to be a better content creator. A hard thing to realize is that sometimes we either need to break out of our shell a bit, not change who you are, still stay true to yourself, but you have to learn how to be an entertainer. And it's not meant for everyone, but I do think everyone can learn how to do it if they're willing to. So when you're streaming, don't stream for 8 hours a day. You might see bigger streamers doing that. They've established themselves. They have the ability to stream for long hours, and they don't need to. They might have an editor that edits for them. When you start streaming, lessen the amount of time that you're live. Extend the amount of time that you spend editing and posting things on TikTok. And it doesn't have to be edited from your stream. It can be trending videos. If you like doing TikTok dances, do TikTok dances. If you like making funny skits to funny TikTok sounds, do funny skits to TikTok sounds. Whatever works for you, makes you happy, makes you comfortable, whether you get a view or not, you're going to be proud of what you made. That's going to keep you going. It's when you start doing things that, it's when you start doing things that you're only going to be happy if you get views. You're going to burn out. You're not going to want to do it. That's why I don't post on TikTok. You can go to my TikTok. The last time I posted, I don't even remember when, probably months ago. And it's just because one, it's been a matter of having the time. Two, I just don't know what I want to post on there right now. And that's okay. So I'm not going to just throw anything at the wall. I want to make sure that it's what I'm happy with. I feel like I'm rambling a bit here, but
you're
basically,
okay.
Either start posting content first, like Percussive said, or stream for 8 hours a week or less and edit from those moments and start posting them at least 3 a week to start if you can. It's a lot to think about, but it's a great way to get the ball rolling. If you're wanting to grow, if you're wanting to make income from this, it's a scary term. People don't want to talk about the money that they make streaming, but it's a real thing. And I think it's a really good benefit.
I want to talk about the amount of money I make real quick. And this is really awesome. So I want to actually propose this question to you and to chat.
Of course.
How much money do you think that I make streaming?
Oh my gosh, I feel so rude putting out a number.
You can be rude.
I don't know your analytics. I don't have any data. Like I don't know your analytics, but I don't have any data.
No, you can be as rude as you want, because no matter what you say, it's not gonna be a diss. I promise.
I want to say like 500 to 750 a month from all your different channels. I don't know.
So the answer is 0.
0. Okay.
So, however, I don't make a whole lot of money streaming. Technically, I'm still in debt from it, but that's not the point. My whole point is not making money. I'm having fun. I'm getting to communicate to people. I'm getting to talk to people. There is only one journey in the world of streaming, and it is what you make of it as a creator. You really, before you ever hit the live button, you want to think of what your goal is. If your goal is to make money, all right, start posting content, get yourself monetized on every single platform, start making TikTok ads.
There's a specific route that you need to take.
Exactly. If your goal is to do the route that I'm trying to do, which is just to make a positive impact and like actually make genuine connections and talk to people, I'm in a different boat. I hate saying it like this because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, he's just some cliche little douche. And I'm like, but it's not that. It's not about the amount of money that I make. It's not about the subs. It's not about that type of stuff. Like, sure, when Jess came on my podcast, someone gifted me 5 subs. I haven't had a 5 bomb gifted on me in since my birthday stream in July. So, but it's not about the money that comes forward for me. It's about the vibes. It's about the entertainment. It's about the communication.
Yeah.
It's about literally giving the people who join my podcast a genuine, wholesome experience. So that's my goal.
Yes. And I had a fun little visual pop into my head.
Mm-hmm.
When you get ready to start streaming, you're driving in your car and you're pulling up to a parking lot. I live in Arizona. We have a lot of hiking. You pull up to the parking lot and you're ready to go on a hike, and there's a big mountain in front of you. It's vast, it's wide, it's tall, it's got small hills and big hills. There's a big peak in the middle. There's, let's say, 10 different trailheads that you can pick. Some are going to be easier than others. Some are going to be more challenging. Some are going to take a lot longer. Some are going to go up and down. And depending on what your goal is, which hill you want to be at the top of, whether that's making positive connections and making an impact regardless of income, becoming famous, being one of the top 5 streamers and making a shit ton of money, or paying my bills and having fun. If those are the 3 peaks that you can choose from, you're going to end up selecting a route at the beginning to try and get you there. Those routes are going to cross over. They're going to intertwine. You're going to come into forks. You're going to switch routes depending on how your journey's going so far. Just be open to taking positive feedback and constructive criticism. And like we said earlier, look in on your own work and be ready to change, and accept that you have no idea what you're doing when you start. You can't possibly have all the answers. There's going to be a time for growth and change.
Absolutely. And another thing that you got to understand on that journey is to not block the path, another path, accidentally. Don't close any doors. Don't let the tree fall and stop you from going in a different direction because you want to keep the path open for you to be able to change routes and to do certain things. Because there might be a need for you to take the route of going to make a whole bunch of money, or maybe I blow up and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh cool, now I'm like queso size, which is I wanted to make a joke there, but I don't want to be rude. I love queso.
I love queso.
I'm a large individual. I was gonna make a large joke, but I feel like that'll get tagged in queso stream. But anyways, jokes aside, maybe I'll be queso size, and then like all of a sudden, like now I'm on a completely different level. There's different tiers that are undefined in streaming, and one of the most important things that I can tell anybody who is wanting to go into content is don't put yourself in a box. Don't let yourself be defined by a tier. Don't label yourself as a small streamer because you're already going to give yourself a defeatist mentality. Leave all doors open. Allow yourself the ability to grow and be happy if you do, but also be content with where you currently are at so you're not getting upset. The only analytics that I ever pay attention to, I never have my viewer count on. I will never know how many people are in chat. I only pay attention to the viewer analytics when the stream is over, because I want to know what I said to cause people to either leave or to cause people to join.
Yes.
So
yeah, and I think that's a really good thing. I, for the longest time, did not have my viewer count on. I started streaming with my viewer count on, found out really quickly, and no, I don't like that. We're gonna turn it off. It forces me to get into a mental space that I don't enjoy, and it's not beneficial to me, and it doesn't make me a better streamer, so I turn it off. For a little bit, I started looking at my view count again, got that feeling again, turned it off. Now, I don't have my view count in my OBS monitor, because that's the one I look at the most. I do have my view count, though, in my bot, but I don't look at my bot anywhere near as much. So if I'm feeling like, okay, stream's going well, or stream feels a little slow, let's see how many people are here, just to kind of quiet my mind a little bit, give myself some reasoning or validation as to what I might be picking up on. And then I also look at my analytics, not after every single stream, but I try at least once a week to be like, okay, how did this day go? How did this day go? This game, these raids, this moment. And honestly, I wouldn't put any weight into watching your live view count, especially with recent changes that have been made to the way Twitch watches viewers and counts viewers. That's a whole other tangent, and I don't think we want to. I don't know if you want to uncover that on this,
We
but
can definitely uncover that if you want. There's a lot behind it, and a lot is unproven. So that's something to think
Keyword.
about.
There's a lot that's unproven. When you read something on Twitter, that doesn't mean it is what it is. It means that we don't work in corporate Twitch. We're not in the corporate office. We don't know why or how things work, and whether they make sense is up to our discretion, but not our rule. So the live view count I have witnessed myself in streams that I mod for have been way off. I've also witnessed that someone can get rated by 100 people, and it sits at, especially on Twitch Mobile, it'll sit at 30 people for an hour until you back out and refresh. So a lot of it doesn't make sense. I wouldn't put any weight into it. Just watch the analytics after your stream is over, or better yet, the following day before or after you stream. So sometimes it does take a few hours for the analytics to fully sink in. I posted on Twitter a few weeks ago, kind of yelling at the void, saying, Twitch, how am I supposed to know if I'm growing if my 3 different pages of analytics, it was stream summary, overview, and I think my revenue page, and all 3 of them had a different viewer average by at least 5 to 10 people. And I was like, what the fuck? How am I supposed to know what to look at? So wait a couple hours to look at the numbers, let them sink in. And when you first start, none of it matters.
Yes.
None of it matters. You could get up to 30 average viewers within 8 months, and then something happens at work and you can't stream for a month, and now you're back down to 5. It happens. You don't have to worry about it when you first start, not until you've decided to make it a career, or depending on what peak you decided you want to climb to.
It all depends.
It doesn't always matter.
It all depends on what you want from it. And you have to think about what your end goal is. To be completely honest and straightforward with everyone, my end goal is to literally be playing Call of Duty, and then to say something funny, and then to have chat interact with me. That's all I want from streaming, because it's going to make things more fun when I call somebody like some goofy thing in COD, right? Because everybody who plays Call of Duty is super angry. And my goal is to say something so stupid and so funny that it just makes them laugh, and it changes the entire vibe of it.
I love that.
And being able to say like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that. And then have chat be like, oh my God, that's hilarious. That's my goal. I just want to make somebody smile. And it doesn't necessarily matter if I have 1 person in my chat or 1 million people in my chat. I'm never going to look at the numbers. I'm never going to actually know. But analytics aside, data aside, we are all overthinkers as streamers. So don't let yourself fall into that realm. Just relax, go with the flow, have fun, because that's our main reason why we go live. So how important do you think visuals are? Like overlays, lighting, camera angles, like when you're first starting out? And what do you recommend for newer creators who are starting out with those?
So that's a tough question, because I can take my personal opinion for what I hold myself to, and what I've seen to be true just based on general research and looking at Twitch as a whole. To be quite frank, on the research side, it doesn't really matter, as long as you have some kind of in fact, let me backtrack a little bit. It doesn't really matter, because the thing that matters above all visuals, aside from stream internet quality, is your microphone. If you don't have a good microphone, it's going to be hard for people to listen to you. And if there's no room to look at and no person to look at, or VTuber, there's not going to be much of a reason for them to stay, because they're not going to watch a stream with no sound. So if your microphone is poor, address that and fix it immediately.
Absolutely.
When it comes to visuals though, I don't think it really matters. I think it's all preference. There are so many big streamers Asmongold, XQC, who have overexposed or underexposed cameras, meaning they're super bright and blown out and low quality, or they're super dark and you can barely see anything, and no background. Their room's a mess. Not trying to diss anybody. Sorry, I'm just being honest.
Oh, my room is a disaster.
And they have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people watching them at a time. And it just goes to show they chose a different peak of the mountain to climb. They chose, my content is going to be relatable, funny, and trending. It doesn't matter what I look like or what my room looks like. I like to create an entire space, an entire vibe. I want people to see my stream and be like, ooh, I wonder how cozy it would be to watch the cats play on the cat tower or sit in the chair. So my room is part of the content. It's like a set. That was my choice.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, I need to have good lighting. I need to have a good camera. I have a friend who has multiple camera angles and fog machines and strobe lights, all in a 300 square foot studio apartment in New York City. And his stream is amazing and I love it, but it's not anything I would want for myself. So it really depends, like we keep saying, on what you want to do with your stream, what kind of streamer you want to be, what makes you happy, what's affordable to you, what's doable within your realm of knowledge and capability. So it all depends. At the end of the day, it's preference.
Goes
I have
back
my
to the
preferences.
overthinking statement, though, too.
Yep.
So the
Yep.
XQC, when for the longest time, he had a board on top of a cardboard box, and that was his desk.
Yep.
So a lot of people forget that, like, there's so many different setups and stuff that, like, you can do.
Yeah.
And, like, everything is okay. But ultimately, what matters is what's the vibe that you're putting forward, and are your viewers having as much fun as you?
Yes. Are you proud of what you're putting out there? Because
Exactly.
if you're not proud of what you're putting out there, it's going to be picked up on. It's going to make your stream less interesting or fun to be around, to be completely honest. You can put on a mask and you can act like you're having the best time. And if you're in an XQC situation where you've got a cardboard box and a keyboard, you better be having a blast playing your game, and you don't care about, not in a bad way, but like the position that you're in doesn't bother you because you found a light in your tunnel to focus on and you've put all of your energy into that. For him, I don't know much of his story, but I'm guessing it was playing games and being really good at the games that he plays. I don't really know what XQC's content is. I just see his face pop up and I'm like, your stream is so simple. You have thousands of viewers. For the longest time, I thought your stream needed to be shiny and perfect and high quality, and your room needed to be amazing, and you had to have the best camera for people to want to be there. But none of that matters. None of it matters.
None of it matters at all. And, like, it really, the best streamers that are going to be out there are the ones that are having the most fun. And I know we keep popping back to that statement. We keep popping back to that mentality, but it's just...
It's true, though.
It's true. It's like... So... Like, my streaming setup is very bare bones. If you want an overlay, you can go on to Stream Elements and pick out one of the Stream Elements overlays for free. And then, like, cool, now you have a starting soon screen. Now you have, like, this starting soon screen, and I'm going to swap this over here for a second so you guys can see it. This starting soon screen, I picked up off of Stream Elements, right? So
I've seen it before.
That starting soon screen is one that I like. It's the first one I did when I first started streaming, and I've never changed it. Now, I have game plans.
And it works. It's clean.
Yeah.
It looks great.
And I have game plans to change things around, to edit, like, something in Canva. Like, if you pay attention to people like BB Jess. Like, I had her on Friday. Her starting soon screen is amazing. And she was telling us that, like, she made it in Canva. And, like,
yeah,
you can do stuff like that. You can even use Canva AI. I see somebody starting soon screen, Dev, I think it was yours actually, where it was like, it was just a blurred background. It said starting soon over top, and then you see yourself getting ready, and then all of a sudden it's like now unblurred because you're live, and it's awesome and it's fun.
Yeah.
But
Flex does a similar thing as well with the blurred camera.
It's really cool things like that you can kind of integrate and, like, use, and, like, there's so many fun things out there. But so, speaking of all the fun things out there, how do you balance keeping things authentic while still improving the look of your stream?
Similar to kind of what we just said, it's about what makes me happy at the end of the day and what I'm proud of and what I know I have the mental energy for. We talk about mental health a lot on my channel, and it's because making this my full-time job while being a mom, a partner, renting a house in this economy, there's going to be stress. So we keep it very, very transparent on my channel. As much as possible. And so when it comes to visuals and keeping things authentic while trying to improve, be realistic. With this camera, for instance, someone came into my chat just, what was it, Friday, and it was like, oh my gosh, your camera's so crisp and clean. I don't think I've seen a camera that crisp on Twitch before. What camera do you use? Anytime someone asks me about my camera, because it happens more than I'd like it to, I always say, you don't need this camera. It's overkill. I didn't buy it. Someone gifted it to me. My boyfriend, he is a photography enthusiast, and he purchased this camera used on OfferUp, didn't love it, asked me if I wanted to use it for stream. It is overkill. It's beautiful, but it was $2,000 bought new if he had bought it new. It's too much money to invest, especially for a new streamer, and you don't need it. It's all about what kind of content you're putting out there. So yes, I love my camera, but I had to learn over the last year, really, and kind of throughout my whole journey, that the quality of my stream does not define how good of a content creator I am, but I tend to fall back on that a lot. It's one of my flaws, I guess you can say, is that I sometimes think, okay, people aren't coming to my stream, or I had a slow week or something because I had to switch to my webcam for a year because my camera wasn't working. That was actually the year that my numbers really went up. It didn't matter that I switched to a webcam versus my mirrorless camera. So it's not about how much money you spent into it. It's about, did you plan out your stream today? Do you know what game you're playing? Are you excited about the game you're playing? Is the game performing well on Twitch if you care about views? And are you in a good mental space today? If you're not in a good mental space and you don't think you're going to be entertaining, maybe consider not going live that day. And just be honest with your community and say, I'm not in it. I don't want to go live today. I go live a lot of the time when I'm not having a good mental day because streaming makes me feel better. If that doesn't work for you, don't hurt the experience for chat to come to your stream if you're not in a space to handle it. So remaining authentic while trying to improve your stream, it all comes back to, what am I going to be proud of? How can I realistically view this as, okay, here's my budget, here's my tech ability. How can I make this work so that I'm proud of it? And if you're stuck in a place where you see someone stream like BB Jess or Poop Witch or Nutty or someone who has a crazy amazing stream, and you just don't think that you can achieve that, stop wishing for it. You're putting yourself in a position where you're never going to find success and you're never going to be happy. Accepting that is a position you can't get to is okay, and it's nothing against you. It doesn't make you a lesser person. It just means you need to find a different streamer that you can connect with on ability, budget, lifestyle, and take inspiration from them instead. And that's been a hard thing for me to realize as well.
Remember the full circle comment that we keep coming to when we talk about overthinking, right?
Yes.
Overthinking falls into that line of comparing yourself to others. As a streamer, don't. I'm never going to be Dev. I'm never going to be as awesome as Dev. I'm never going to be as awesome as BB Jess. I'm never going to be XQC. I'm going to be Perc. And that's when we keep saying the authenticity aspect and like the overthinking aspect. The biggest mistake that I see newer creators have is they overthink and they compare themselves to the popular streamers that they admire. The moment you do that is the moment you're going to put yourself in a defeatist mentality and a negative mindset, and you're going to start calling yourself a small streamer, and you're going to start blaming everybody except for yourself for your reason why you're not growing, if you're not growing. So it's a whole mindset that you have to keep in mind, that just remember the bare bones, remember the basics. Every time you go live, just have fun and be there for your community, and you're just going to start growing whether you want to or not.
Yeah.
So
exactly. And I'm very bad at comparing myself to others. And I do it in a way where I'm not thinking that they're the reason why I'm not growing. It's always, what can I do to grow like them?
Yes.
And over this past year, I've had to really take because it's only natural to compare yourself to other people, especially depending on which route you're going. If you're going to grow and make an income, you're going to have to learn from other people. It's not going to be just figuring it out on your own. You're going to have to take inspiration from other people. That doesn't mean copy them. It means see what they're doing, see how it works, and how can you apply it authentically to yourself.
Bingo.
In doing so, there is a level of comparison. It's natural, it's inevitable. What you do with that comparison is what matters. And for me, for the longest time, I was comparing in a way where I was thinking, well, I can't do what they do because I'm a mom and I value my time with my kid, and I don't want to stream the way they stream as far as time frame, days, times of day. Or like there's this idea that streaming at night has better benefits than streaming during the day. There's some data to back that up, but really it depends on how you stream. And so I don't stream at night. It's bad on my mental health. It doesn't fit in with my lifestyle. I stream during the day. It's hard. It's hard to stream during the day. So what did I do? Well, instead of comparing myself to people who were doing things that I cannot do or choose not to do, instead of setting myself up to fail and comparing myself to things that I can't obtain, I found people who stream at similar times of day as me, stream similar games to me, have a similar lifestyle as me. And it's easier to compare yourself to something that's not setting you up for failure, because I can achieve that if I choose to.
Yes.
So it's okay to compare, but it's how you compare, essentially.
I
if
could
that's
not
the
agree
route you
more.
need to go.
I couldn't agree more, because like you have to be able to give yourself some relevances of like self-positivity with everything that you do too, so that you keep yourself in a mindset where you're wanting to grow and you're wanting to do this. So one of the things that I love, that I want to talk about, especially since it's a tech stream, every single stream that everyone does is going to have tech issues. So
At some point.
So my question to you is, how do you handle tech issues? Because you guys may or may not see it. I'm sure Deb probably notices because I keep looking up and to the left, but I'm actually currently having tech issues, but I'm resolving them right away. So how do you handle tech issues when they occur?
So because I'm an overthinker and I don't think I have the best poker face, because I wouldn't have known that you had tech issues, I tend to say, just a sec, guys, something's not working, or just a sec, why is that not working? And I think out loud, which allows me to start or potentially start a conversation of other techie people in chat asking questions about how I do things. And I'm very open about how my stream runs, how it works, what I use. But sometimes there's small little tech issues, or like, let's say I'm super picky on the way my stream looks. I remember earlier I said I'm a bit of a control freak. If I have like a piece of text on my screen and it's covering up this light, I know I need to move it over there. And I'll just do that silently to myself real quick. And sure, chat will see it, but I don't point it out. Other bigger tech issues, I am pretty open to accepting help when I ask for help. I am pretty comfortable with my setup. I know a lot about my setup and I'm pretty comfortable with fixing things on the go. But there's things that I don't know how to fix, and there's sometimes big issues. I think it was the beginning of this year or maybe last year. I think it was the beginning of this year. I had huge tech issues and I had to wipe my PC and basically start from scratch and rebuild everything. And I saved as much as I could, but at the end of the day, sometimes it's better to just start from scratch and hopefully you erase the issues that were causing problems. So when handling tech issues live on stream, I'm pretty open about it. I tell chat that I'm experiencing something and I try to fix it, because that's just easier for me. I'm an anxious overthinker, and if I do anything other than be honest, it's only going to make it worse. So, however, sometimes there are other issues that I don't feel I need to talk about and I can just fix real quick.
And I'll do the same if it's not in like a podcast format. But so for my tech issues that I'm currently going through, it has everything to do with internet. It's something that's fully out of my control. So, but one of the things that I learned, and this actually kind of ties into things, when you're trying to diagnose a connection issue, there are certain computer related commands that you're able to run, like a system file checker scan, SFC/scan now. You can run that and it'll automatically scan your Windows files integrity server folder, and then it'll be able to automatically fix. And that's what I did to resolve the internet issues that I currently have. And yes, you can do that midstream, but there are certain things that you can do to kind of keep the show rolling. And as a creator, I kind of view my stream as like a show. And I want to try to put forth the most incredible show that I can. So, like, I'll be able to do certain things in the back end with or without people knowing it to try to resolve certain tech issues. But if there is something I don't know, I will 100% ask out. I will 100% reach out, because one time I was working in OBS and my OBS would never run. It was for 2 to 3 weeks straight, and I almost completely stopped streaming until I realized that one of the OBS updates actually deprecated the NVIDIA encoder and made you choose a new one. So I had to go into OBS, into settings, into stream and recording, and choose a different encoder. That was actually the new version of the NVENC encoder for the stream. And that saved everything.
There's so many little things that can go wrong.
But once you learn it, and once it causes a massive impact and you're able to fix it, you're never going to forget it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why, again, go to YouTube, ask questions on YouTube, see if you can figure it out. Go to Reddit, see if you can figure it out. There's also a really cool way where if your OBS keeps having a consistent issue every time you stream, you can copy the log file link and actually get the log file analyzed. And OBS will at least tell you, like, hey, these are concerning. Hey, this might be the problem. It's not always a fix. It's not always the right answer, but you can at least get a look at how compatible is my OBS setup, and OBS will analyze and show you what might be causing a problem.
That's another reason why I like Stream with Meld. So there's a whole bunch of different streaming platforms that we kind of discussed about, Meld being one of those where they have their own data analyzer for you. Like when you're using Meld, you'll see the stream, where it's going, where it's connecting to, the audio direction that things are going. It'll show you the bit rate that things are running to. And then you can just kind of see how things are in live action and be able to diagnose and fix any issues that might be happening. Or you can switch it to a different encoder middle of the stream and swap things out while you fix the old encoder, and then put it back to the old encoder. There's really cool little tips and tricks, because Meld's one of those streaming platforms that's made by streamers for streamers. And it's just really cool to kind of look at some of the stuff like that and the different technological aspects out there. So everyone's going to deal with tech issues. Everyone's going to deal with different styles of text. Everyone has a different way of doing things, but we keep circling back to being awesome at streaming means that it's authentic. You're authentic and true to yourself. So what is your goal with your community or future creators that we should take away from Dev's journey?
So my personal journey, I think, has stayed pretty true despite the different changes. When I first started streaming, it was just to have fun outside of my everyday life, something to escape to. And I think that idea still stays true, though the rest of the picture has evolved a bit. My stream for my viewers is a place for them to escape, to know that they will not be judged, that they can be their authentic self, that they can have a good time, that they're going to be in the presence of someone who's there also just trying to have a good time. And whether we're gaming or talking or baking or painting, whatever we're doing, we're just there to enjoy each other's company. Of course, I still want to be a good creator, and I still like playing games, and I love doing things that I know my community will enjoy. But despite going from part-time as a hobby to full-time income and career, it still stays true to, this is a space that we've created around ourselves and who we are, to be who we are, with nothing but positivity and a good time. So that's for me what my journey has been about. When it comes to new streamers, it's going to take time to figure out what that is, but really look back in on yourself and remember the reason why you wanted to start streaming in the first place.
Yes.
If the first thought that came to your head when you saw someone on stream was they have 5,000 people watching them, you're going to need to take a route that gets you there.
Yes.
That's not my route. If your first thought was someone just dropped $100 in their chat, I could really use that. You're going to need to take a route that allows you to create connections. Now, you can't control with that idea. You can't control how much money people give you. That is pure generosity.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a decent person and you have fun ways for people to contribute to you where they get something out of it, like a marathon stream and you put a pie in your face, or you have to get a hot tub in your room and wear a silly outfit, whatever it is, as long as you're capable and it makes you happy, there's going to be different ways for you to achieve whatever that initial spark of interest was for you. And for me, my initial spark of interest was I can show how much I love gaming and the games that I like and just be my little weird self, and people are going to like that. Heck yeah. That's awesome. Why wouldn't I want to do this? And then I learned, I can actually kind of make money doing this. So it's evolved, but it still stays true to I'm going to be myself and I'm going to be really happy doing what I do.
And that's such an amazing point, and I commend you for that too, because like being able to decipher the route and the journey that you want to go and remembering why you started streaming in the first place is so important. And I think that like in regards to being a new creator, it really is a whole bunch of introspective work.
Yes.
The schedule, like it's so easy to burn out if you lose track of why you started streaming in the first place, because not only are you live streaming to people, you are editing, and it takes a lot of time to be able to edit videos. It takes a lot of time to be able to market. It takes a lot of time to be able to communicate with people. And like,
yeah,
it's because, and also understanding that people are human. You have the entire world in front of you. You have your entire life in front of you. So even if they don't respond right away, they may respond in the next couple months or the next couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rush people. Don't force things. Just go with the flow,
Yeah.
Go with the flow and have fun. So what final words, Dev, would you like to give to any new and aspiring creators?
For anyone who's looking to start streaming, I think we've said it a ton of times today, but just be yourself at the end of the day. And if that's a version of yourself where, I've always loved doing improv, but I made fun of it in high school, but it's where my heart is at. Do improv. Do improv on Twitch. It can go so far, and you will find so many other people who also love improv. If your heart is in crochet or building houses in The Sims, or you have this dream of getting a 360 no-scope shot in COD, do it. Whatever makes you happy, strive for it, as long as it continues to make you happy. The second you find yourself doing something where going live causes any kind of emotion other than excitement and wonder and inspiration and happiness, you need to look in and think, okay, what has happened in the last few days? What has happened in the last few months? What changed? Is the game I'm playing run by different developers now and it sucks? Have I been a little loose with some of my rules in chat and there's people in my stream that I just don't like? That happens. It happens. We don't have to like every viewer. So just be aware, be honest with yourself, hold yourself accountable, keep an open mind, and be willing to learn. A great way to achieve all of this is having a bit of a journal. I've tried journaling on my own, but instead I do more of like a mental journal where after each stream, I try to reflect on the high points, the low points if there were some, and what I can do next stream, what I'm looking for next time. And your time is precious. Your voice is precious. Don't let anyone else take it from you, and continue to do what makes you happy.
Honestly, I couldn't agree more. And like I say, 95% of what all of us streamers do is introspective work, learning from everything that we do and making ourselves better. And remember, because Deb made a huge point here, if you truly want something, you will do everything in your power to make it happen, because that is the goal and that is what you want. And there's only one journey. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're a new and aspiring content creator, own your journey and have fun and be yourself, because that's what this podcast is all about.
100%.
Dev, thank you so much for joining me today. And that's going to do it for today's episode of the PSP Podcast. And Dev is an amazing person. And Band Fam, if you are not following Dev, get your booty cheeks over there. Go give her a follow. You can click on the link that I have in the profile. You can literally click on that and follow her. Go check out her streams. I truly appreciate everything that you said. And you definitely made an impact, not only on me, but about everybody who's going to watch this podcast. Dev, you're an amazing person. And
thank
you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor to be here. Like I said before we even went live, podcasts are so special because they let streamers share a side of themselves that they don't always get to share on stream. So thank you for believing in me and for finding me through my Discord troubles. I really appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well.